Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm basically just gonna be posting like fuck shit, just goofy topics. Today's topic is like how to best modulate your endocannabinoid system, get like your best bang for your buck. Um, it's also a good way to really lower your tolerance. Get a better baseline while still being able to use and indulge, like get fucking like sky high every day without, screwing your baseline. But before I get into it, I'll kind of go through the 7 things I want to talk about first, and then I'll go into each of them individually. So we got frequency of usage, dosage. We're going to talk about exercising, protecting your baseline, kind of cutting out bad habits that could like negatively impact it. We also got diet, choosing flour over concentrates. I'll get into why I want to do that. And honorable mention, like supplements that you could take that could potentially improve your, just endocannabinoid system, tone, and function. So yeah, we'll get into that, okay? Okay, first up, so before I get into all this, I do just want to preface all the things I just put in order. It's from most important to least important. So to start, arguably the most important, probably like it's kind of like undisputed if you've like kind of trial and error it yourself. Like it's pretty apparent. It's probably like the biggest make or break. Frequency. Okay, so I'd really recommend you to maybe just smoke like once a day. I know that like that sucks for a lot of people, but if you do it just once a day, you could probably get away with smoking in the morning or the afternoon, and you're gonna get that therapeutic, whatever the hell you're looking for, from cannabis, throughout the entire day. If you do all the things that I tell you in this list, you're not gonna have an issue, smoking once a day. You're gonna feel good all day. So, why do I say just smoke once a day? The like recovery for your CB1 receptor. So just a little background info. So when you're like taking THC, our bodies, we have a natural endocannabinoid system, okay? That's what THC is acting on. It's acting on your CB1 receptor, and that's like the receptor responsible for getting high. You also have your CB2 receptors. You have a ton of CB1 receptors in your brain. You have a ton of CB2 receptors in your body. The CB1 receptor is like the main receptor that's gonna like actually give you like intoxication. The CB2 receptors, it's more like body feel and body load. I'll kind of get into that a little bit later. But it's not linear, like the recovery. Like when you smoke weed all the time, you're down regulating, like you're reducing the quantity of receptors, like they pull back, like they kind of like, I don't know, like they're hiding the synapse or some shit. Like they don't want to, your body wants homeostasis. It's not gonna like be like, oh yeah, this is cool, let's just get high as fuck all day and do jack shit. Like, no, it's gonna compensate. So it's gonna reduce the number of receptors, CB1 receptors, and it's going to desensitize the remaining receptors. So for example, light smokers, their CB1 receptor, I'm going to be talking about the quantity of the receptors, not more so the sensitivity of them. But for example, for like light smokers, people that like me or like maybe like you that just smoke once a day, their CB1 receptor quantity can return almost to baseline within just 2 days of abstinence from THC. But here's the weird thing. So from hours 0 to 12, you can see literally like probably at most maybe 0.5% to 1% total recovery of the CB1 receptors, like the quantity per hour. But if you go up to hours 12 to 24, you can actually see 2 to 3% recovery rate per hour. So that's like a 3 to 4 times fold compared to just 0 to 12 hours. So as you can imagine, that's like, you're kind of being an idiot smoking twice a day. If you're doing a wake and bake and then at night, you're getting like I have a graph to show you guys, okay? So like okay, so like if you go from hour 0, right, to hour 12, you're getting like fucking literally like a little over if that 10% of your CB1 receptors like actually back up and running. Whereas if you wait just 24 hours, you're up to like 42.5. It's like a fourfold increase from just twice the duration, okay? Like that's massive. You need to not be compulsively using drugs because it's unhealthy for you and you're getting diminishing returns. You're unnecessarily inhaling all that extra smoke for like half the effect, like not even half, like a quarter of the effect. Like that's stupid, right? Like when you think about it like that, that's stupid. You're basically just compulsively using it for no reason. You need like, I'm not trying to be mean, like people just don't know the science behind it, but like that's why I'm here, you know. I look up YouTube videos on how to lower your tolerance, and people don't really bring up shit like this. Like they don't show you the little science behind it. So this also means like, so if you take somebody who smokes a gram every other day and then somebody who smokes half a gram every day, if I said the first person smokes a gram every other day and then the second person smokes half a gram every day, the person who smokes just a gram every other day, even though they're smoking the same total amount, is going to have like a significantly lower tolerance. And that's because it's not linear. Like the CB, like if you smoke weed all day, it's not like just like recover. Like if you smoked in the morning and then smoked at night, it's not going to be the same recovery time. Like you're diminishing returns. Like you have to wait. And then I'd also recommend, if you do get it down to just once a day, I'd recommend maybe just taking one big hit, getting your fix, quote unquote, and then being satisfied with that. Not spacing out smaller hits over a couple hours, because like I just said, like each hour is exponentially better. Not like exponentially, but you know what I mean. It's increasingly more important to do it. Like that last couple hours is going to make a hell of a lot more of a difference than the first few. So yeah, that's my first point. Okay, now we're on to dosage. Okay, so once you get down to smoking just once a day, it's so easy to taper down slowly. The difference between how two people get high, maybe smoking just once a day when using say 0.1 gram versus using like a gram. Like if you took two people, one of them smoked a tenth of what the other person smokes, but they both smoke once a day. The person who smokes a gram a day is not getting like, they're not getting higher. Like they're not, okay? People think you can only build so much tolerance, but you're building more rebound adaptations and just further down regulating your endocannabinoid system. I don't know, a lot of heavy users probably know what I'm talking about. Have you ever tried to smoke, say, like more than 2 or 3 bowls and you just don't get high? Like you've plateaued, you can't, like even if you smoked it like back to back to back, you couldn't get higher. Like after a certain point, your shit is so down regulated that like you can't even get higher. Like you're just like frying your shit. Like just slowly taper down. And I promise you, like if you transition from doing a gram a day to say a tenth of a gram a day, over the course of a year, you're gonna feel like the same high. Like it's just pointless to be smoking multiple. This YouTuber dude named Q-Pins, bro, he says like it's all frequency, it's not really the dosage. That's just bullshit. Like you're not getting more effects smoking more. You're just like depriving your brain of oxygen and fucking like giving yourself lung cancer unnecessarily, bro. Like that's not, what are you doing? What are you doing, bro? Okay, so and I want you to think about it like this. Like think about when you first started smoking. Bro, you could take a puff off a joint and you'd be like fried as fuck. Like you're dummy. Like you're dummy high. Like you're stupid. Now, like there's people that are in heavy smoking, like they can fucking, apologize for swearing. They can smoke like 5 joints back to back, and they're not even gonna get like that high. I want you to think about that, like what you're doing to your endocannabinoid system. How are you able to do like 500 times the dose damn near of what you used to be able to do to get fried, and you're still not even that fried? That means that your endocannabinoid system is 500 times less sensitive than what it used to be. And then you wonder why your baseline's fried. Because you're smoking pot all day. You're just like, you gotta lock in slug, okay? Exercise. So I want you to think about like the runner's high. So like a lot of people, they might not like to run or something. I don't even really run. I just walk. I get my steps every day. But basically the runner's high, if you've ever like ran and gotten that, like it feels pretty similar to weed in my personal opinion. I feel like if anything, like it might be more euphoric in a sense, like I feel just as good, but I'm actually like productive and I'm like up and running, like I want to do stuff. Like it's like euphoria wise, like you're getting the same thing. Like it might not be that like down or relaxation feeling some people are seeking, but like if you're getting the same therapeutic benefit, like the pain relief, the mood boost, the like just modulation of appetite, sleep, all this crap, like what I mean, there's not really much to complain about. Like, sorry you're not like couch locked. Like you could take some CBD or something if you want that. We'll get into that later. But yeah, so lifting and cardio, even low intensity cardio like walking, can increase the production of endogenous, which means like chemicals or stuff that our body makes. So the nice thing with that is like if you took like the runner's high and you got as that same desired or like same level of high from THC, you have the same like your endogenous cannabinoids, 2-AG, and then anandamide. If you took the same effects from both, like you're getting basically the same effects, your body, your endocannabinoid system, your CB1 receptors are going to be desensitized, and they're not going to downregulate as much as if it was from exogenous THC, because it's like your body's own chemicals. It doesn't feel the need to like build a tolerance immediately. For whatever reason, I don't think there's like really science-backed like info on why that occurs, but it's a pretty strong phenomenon that's been observed. Like for whatever reason, our body just doesn't really build a crazy tolerance to 2-AG and anandamide like you would THC. So yeah, that's something to like maybe think about. Also on top of that, lifting and like cardio, that's like good for your dopamine, serotonin, endorphins. It's good for mood in general. Helps your body image. Like there's plenty of reasons you should be exercising to begin with. Like, bro, just like hit the gym a little bit here and there. Okay. Protecting your baseline / cutting out bad habits. For some people, like for me, sometimes it was nicotine. Sometimes it was binge eating. Sometimes it's like not sleeping as well as I should be. But like a lot of these things have like negative feedback loops. So like I kind of was thinking of like an example for this. So like say you're using nicotine and that's causing insomnia. You can't sleep. So now you're like using THC as a crutch just to fall asleep, even though you're using it chronically during the day anyway, already frying your baseline. Now you have to use that just to go to sleep. Anybody who's done any research on sleep and THC, yeah, it helps like the onset of like falling asleep, but it's like actually horrible for sleep quality. So you're actually worsening your sleep quality. When you sleep worse, you tend to binge eat more. So you might binge eat, which could lead to, weight gain, which is gonna, further, fuck with your baseline and your mood and your energy, which might make you rely more on shit like nicotine or THC, which is just gonna, it's like a never ending loop. Like this shit's bad for you. You gotta like moderate it. You gotta treat your body with the respect it deserves. Like you gotta think about these things, guys. Okay. Okay. Diet. So first off, I'd recommend most people, you should be taking a multivitamin. By the way, like what I'm talking about, like a multivitamin. Like, this is stuff that's going to help with your endocannabinoid system. Like, it's not maybe as huge of a decider in what your tolerance is going to look like as like frequency or dosage, but like these things all play a role even if they're small. So like even like a 2%, you know, or decrease in your tolerance, if you're dialing in 10 different things, that 2% times 10, that's 20%. Now you got a 20% lower tolerance. Now you need 20% less THC. Now you're down regulating your shit 20%. Like, it all adds up over time. I recommend taking multivitamin. Most people, unless you're like Ronnie Coleman, like eating like 4, 5, 6,000 calories a day, you're likely not eating enough minerals and vitamins that you need. And there are people that say like they're like the au naturel people. Like, dude, your body doesn't know the difference. Like, multivitamin is healthy. It might be a little healthier to get it from like natural sources with like fiber and water and like other stuff that's good for you, but like a multivitamin will suffice. I'd also recommend omega-3 fatty acids. You could get it from fatty fish like sardines, salmon. You could also get it in a like omega-3 fatty acid supplement. I think either works just fine. I will say, they have studies showing that like for whatever reason, low intake of like omega-3 fatty acids like has a correlation to poor functioning endocannabinoid system tone. This might just be a correlation, it might not be causation, but it's just something to like, you should be eating omega-3 fatty acids anyway, so just do that. Eggs, they have this thing called arachidonic acid. It's actually good for potentially building a little bit of muscle too. It's not like anabolic, like it's just you would need to do less volume in the gym if you took a supplement like this. It actually can increase inflammation in the muscle, which is good if you're trying to put on muscle. You need inflammation in the muscle to have those rebound adaptations of growth, you know. But arachidonic acid is actually the precursor for 2-AG and anandamide, the two like endogenous cannabinoids I had just mentioned. And like we just said, like if you can get that like feeling you're looking for from endogenous ones instead of exogenous ones like THC, you are going to get way more bang for your buck, way less rebound adaptations with the CB1 receptors and stuff. Antioxidant rich foods like olive oil, berries, leafy greens, like anything that's just antioxidant rich, it's gonna reduce neuroinflammation, which is associated, you know, it's correlated, but it could potentially be a cause, you know, it could definitely influence it, of, you know, poor endocannabinoid system function. So that's just something to keep in mind. You know, maybe you think about just trying to clean up your diet, eat more leafy greens, berries, you know, olive oil. This is stuff that's has a ton of other health benefits anyways. You probably should be eating this stuff if you can. But and then also just for like diet, one more thing I'd recommend is like make sure you get enough protein. This might seem like no shit, like who wouldn't, but a lot of people don't really know like the amino acids in protein that like make up protein. They're the precursors for your feel good neurotransmitters like tryptophan, which is the precursor for serotonin, tyrosine, which is the precursor for dopamine, you know, choline, which is the precursor for acetylcholine, which is important for memory and learning. Like all this stuff plays a role. Like you just get a well-rounded, balanced diet. Don't overeat protein. Like that's kind of unnecessary, but I mean it's not bad. But I mean you could be getting carb and fat sources. But yeah. Anyway, choosing flour over concentrates. This is one that a lot of like chronic smokers, bro, the ones I know that just smoke pot all day, they are convinced that this is like how to keep your tolerance low. Like just like switch your method of consumption. Like, that's how you do it. Like, that's how you keep a low tolerance. No, it's not. That's why it's number 6 on the list, okay? It's, like, not that important. But with flower, you can get a more full spectrum entourage effect. This can help you get your desired effects that you're looking for without having to use as much THC, okay? That might not seem like a huge deal. Like, you might not notice it from just maybe like a couple days of using it, but like after a month, I guarantee you, you will probably notice a little bit of a difference. It's like subtle, but it's noticeable. You know what I mean? There's a fly flying around me, guys. Minor cannabinoids like CBD, CBN, CBC, CBT, CBG, THCV. There's like a bunch of different ones. These all add to the entourage effect, but a lot of these, for whatever reason, I actually have used full spectrum cannabis cartridges before, and I just find that like I don't build as much of a tolerance when I use those. And I think it's just for whatever reason, like you get more effect with less THC, and I think at the same time, they also help just modulate the endocannabinoid system. Like, I think, like I told you earlier, like CBD, or like, I don't think I've told you guys this yet, but CBD can actually inhibit some of the enzymes slightly that break down natural cannabinoids like anandamide and 2-AG. So if you're using stuff like that, like that's just slowing the breakdown of that, you don't even need as much THC to get that desired effect you're looking for. So it's pretty good to try to get like a full spectrum of it. You don't need to take like CBD gummies or anything, but just like when you do smoke, just use flower. Like, it's people that say it's like unhealthy to smoke flower over like dabs. Like, I'd rather lose like a year or 2 off my life than like have a shitty baseline because I accidentally like overconsumed THC and just have like a shitty mood all the time. Like, I'd rather also, like, if you follow all the steps that I told you guys in this video, you should not need more than like 100 milligrams of flower, like 1/10 of a gram a day. And if you're smoking that out of a bong or you're vaporizing that, which that's a whole nother thing. I'd recommend smoking. You get like more effect for whatever reason. Like, drier vaping does not work. It's another reason why I don't like dabs. You don't get the same effect, but you're consuming so much more. When you combust THC, like in flower, for whatever reason, it releases a little bit of aerosol, which isn't the best for you, but it gets like in your bloodstream a lot quicker. And it just gives you that like sober to stoned feeling a lot of people are looking for. You know, like when you're smoking a joint, it's like such a slow come up. Like at the end, you're like, I don't even really feel that different. Whereas like if you're smoking out of a bong, you go from sober to stoned immediately. You're like, God damn, I'm high. But terpenes also play some role in the entourage effect. Not as much as people would let on. If you seriously took somebody and gave them 20 strains of cannabis, all different like profiles, and you were like, tell me if this is indica, sativa, indica dominant hybrid, sativa dominant hybrid, like full hybrid, dude, they would not be able to tell. A lot of this shit is placebo. But there are some terpenes that actually have some real like medicinal benefit and like actual studies backing them. Myrcene in particular, you probably have heard of that one. That's the one in mangoes. Though people say eat mangoes, like it'll get you higher. Not really. The bioavailability is really terrible. Funny enough, smoking terpenes actually is like more bioavailable than orally ingesting them, like your stomach acid and liver breaks them down like pretty hard. Like, you can't really absorb them that well eating them. So myrcene, though, for whatever reason, it has animal studies backing it, showing that it's like really promotes relaxation. They believe that it has some GABA enhancing effects. So GABA is the neurotransmitter. It's the inhibitory neurotransmitter that like alcohol or like benzodiazepines act on. Obviously those aren't healthy, like, but like isolated GABA enhancement, like slight modulation of it is not going to be unhealthy. Like that's totally normal. That's not normal, but that's totally healthy. Like there's no, people aren't like withdrawn from the za because there's myrcene in it. That's not how it works. Okay. It could kind of give you that couch locked or intoxicating feel you're looking for, without potentially downregulating your CB1 receptors more than you need to. Hitting different mechanisms, instead of just hitting one mechanism really hard, like hitting different ones kind of like subtly, subtly, sorry, can kind of give you better therapeutic effects in my experience. Like just hitting one major mechanism and just frying that is just not gonna work long term. If you hit multiple ones, very little, like just a little bit, they have time to recover daily. It's not like you're like down regulating the shit out of them. They have time to recover. So you're gonna, be able to get that feeling you're looking for without, frying your baseline. And then the last thing that I put on here is honorable mentions. These are like not really, these aren't gonna make a big difference. Like this is like if everything else in here reduce your tolerance by like 5 times, like 500%, this might reduce it by like 10%. Like it's nothing major. But you have some supplements like curcumin. That's the active polyphenol, which is just like a fancy word for like a specific type of antioxidant. And turmeric, it can reduce neural inflammation. Like when I was talking about the antioxidant rich foods earlier, neural inflammation kind of, for whatever reason, it's correlated with reduced functioning of the endocannabinoid system. So taking something like that's also like inflammation of the brain obviously isn't good on most of your brain systems. Like that's obviously bad. So taking something like that would be good. It also is I can't stress how very weak it is, but it has like a subtle effect. Like you might notice it. And it's a very weak monoamine oxidase inhibitor, which basically means like monoamines are just neurotransmitters. Like that could be dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, glutamate, acetylcholine, like literally anything, okay? It basically, monoamine oxidase inhibitors inhibit your body's natural process, monoamine oxidase, like breaking down those neurotransmitters. So like you might have, like you're slowing the breakdown of your dopamine and serotonin, which are feel-good neurotransmitters. You're slowing the breakdown of acetylcholine, glutamate, norepinephrine, which are excitatory neurotransmitters that are good for learning and memory. So that has benefits. It also increases BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which is one of the very plausible explanations for why a certain clinically used drug that I'm not going to name because I don't need the feds knocking on my door. It starts with a K. Every kiss begins with K, okay? That's one of the very plausible explanations for why that drug, and again, it's used in clinical settings. I'm not saying I do it or anything. It's very, like, for whatever reason, like a lot of, again, it's a correlation. They find that people with low levels of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, tend to have like more depression. It having increased levels of that can help you process through things like instead of like being in rigid, thought patterns and thought, loops, you can kind of like break out of that and kind of think past that and process it a little bit better. And then also curcumin, it also has like a weak effect on inhibiting some of the enzymes that break down anandamide, the natural cannabinoid we were talking about. So that's good for your endocannabinoid system. Like you're getting more of the desired effects you're looking for from your natural ones rather than your exogenous ones. And then we have, this is like, I'm gonna butcher this word. I always have a hard time saying it. Palmitoy, lethanolamide, and epigallocatechin gallate, EGCG. It's the stuff in green tea. Both of these, the palmitoy, lefenolamide, and the EGCG, they're both good for whatever reason. They also, just like curcumin, they reduce neural inflammation, and they also inhibit the same enzyme that kind of breaks down anandamide. So all of them in conjunction, or just maybe you say if you don't want to take a bunch of supplements, you just want to drink green tea, that could be like a good option. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my YouTube video. You know, leave a like and subscribe, you know, for more educational videos like this, okay? Thanks for watching to the end. I will see you guys in the next one.